Hey everyone, and welcome back. Today we're diving into a topic that's always evolving, always fascinating, healthcare. And I'm not just talking about those annual checkups we try to squeeze in.
Right, it's so much more than that now.
Exactly. Wearables, AI, even social media. They're all changing how we access information about our health, how we get treated. Luckily, we've got a great roadmap for today's deep dive, a 2024 article from the Journal of Marketing called Marketing in the Healthcare Sector, Disrupted Exchanges and New Research Directions.
Oh, yeah, I've read that one. It's a good one. Gets into some really interesting trends.
It does, and it can feel overwhelming, right? Like, it wasn't that long ago that healthcare was this simple triangle.
You had the big pharmaceutical companies.
Think Pfizer.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Making the drugs, and then your doctor figured out your treatment.
And you, the patient, just hope for the best. You took your meds, followed the instructions.
No Googling your symptoms back then.
Not a chance.
Yeah.
But this article, it uses a great analogy. It says, healthcare used to be like this peaceful pond, right?
Calm waters.
Exactly. And now it's like someone's tossing pebbles into that pond, just making waves.
And those pebbles are all the new players, new tech. It's shaking things up.
Big time. And some of those pebbles are causing some serious ripples. Like, take wearables, for example.
Yeah.
This article talks about the Apple Watch detecting heart problems before they become life-threatening.
It's amazing. That's literally life-saving technology right there.
Right. But then on the flip side, there's the potential for unnecessary anxiety, all that tracking.
Yeah.
Could it lead to more worry than actual illness?
It's a good question. I mean, knowledge is power, but it can also be a burden.
Absolutely. And then there's the whole data privacy issue. If your smartwatch knows your every heartbeat, who else is seeing that information?
Right, it's a trade-off. Convenience versus privacy.
Exactly. And then there's another big pebble making waves, direct-to-consumer genetic testing.
Like 23andMe.
Yeah, exactly. It's amazing on the one hand, you get all this information about your health predispositions, right? You can make proactive changes based on your genes.
It's personalized medicine, in a way.
Totally. But then there's the other side. What if you get results you weren't expecting? Information overload can be just as stressful as not knowing.
And how accurate are those tests, really? There's still so much we don't know about genetics.
That's the thing. It's such a gray area. And here's another pebble in the pond that this article dives into: online reviews.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we're used to using them for restaurants, hotels. But now it's like we're checking star ratings before we choose a doctor.
Oh, absolutely. I do it. Everyone I know does it.
Right. Like, is this doctor going to listen to me? Better check those reviews.
It's become so normal, which is why it's so interesting that researchers are actually studying how they impact a doctor's practice.
Oh, yeah, this article mentioned a study about that.
It found a direct link between positive online reviews and how many patients a doctor gets. Good reviews equal more business, basically.
Which makes you think, wow, we have more power as patients than we realize in this new healthcare world. But then it's like, how much weight should we really be putting on those reviews?
It's tough to say. Are they a measure of actual competency or just bedside manner?
Right. And then there's the whole other side of it, the rise of the doctor influencer on social media.
Oh, don't even get me started on those. It's great to make health information more accessible, but...
Where do you draw the line?
Exactly. Should we be taking medical advice from someone's TikTok? I mean, come on.
It's tricky. It's like, how do you know who to trust online?
You've got to be so careful. Just because someone has a medical degree and a huge following doesn't mean they're giving you the full picture.
It's like anything else online. You have to be a savvy consumer, like you were saying.
Absolutely. Double check everything. Look for credible sources. Don't just take someone's word for it.
Especially when it comes to your health.
Exactly. But, it's not all bad, this whole explosion of information. It can be overwhelming, but it also gives you a lot of power.
That's a good point. How so?
Well, in the past, you pretty much just did what your doctor told you, right? No questions asked. But now, you can walk into that appointment with information.
You can be more involved in your own care.
Exactly. You can ask better questions, understand your options. It's a partnership, not a dictatorship.
I like that. And the article even talked about how those traditional healthcare institutions, they're starting to team up with these tech companies.
Yeah, like that partnership between the Mayo Clinic and Apple. Using data from Apple Watches to personalize treatment plans.
It's incredible. Imagine if your doctor could get real-time insights into your health, all from your wrist. That sounds like the future. It's pretty mind-blowing, isn't it?
Yeah.
But I guess the question is, does it actually lead to better health? Or are we just more informed?
Yeah, that's the million-dollar question, right? And this article, it actually poses that very question. are we any healthier? Or just more aware of everything that could go wrong?
It's like we've got all this data, all this tech.
But is it translating into better outcomes, longer lifespans? It remains to be seen.
That's a good point.
Mm.
And, the article also talks about online health communities.
Yeah.
Like they can be amazing sources of support, especially for people with chronic illness.
Oh, absolutely. Finding people who really get it, who've been there, that's invaluable.
Right. That sense of community, of
Yeah.
not feeling alone,
Mhm.
that can make a world of difference.
It really can. And not just for emotional support either. These online groups, they're sharing information constantly.
Treatment options, tips, resources.
Exactly. It's like a crowdsourced approach to healthcare.
But of course, then there's the flip side.
Misinformation.
Exactly. It's
Right.
like that game of telephone we used to play as kids.
Yeah.
By the time the information gets to you, it's completely different from how it started.
Right. So you've really got to be careful, do your research. Just because someone online says something worked for them.
Doesn't mean it's right for everyone.
Exactly. Everyone's health journey is different. We need personalized approaches, not just one-size-fits-all solutions. And that's something this article emphasizes, too. We've got to move away from that old model.
It's not your grandma's healthcare anymore.
Right. Not even close. But I think that's what makes this such a fascinating time to be talking about healthcare. It's like technology is here to stay, but how we use it, how we integrate it.
That's what's going to shape the future. And that's on us.
100%. We can't just be passive consumers anymore. We have to be informed. We have to be engaged. We have to advocate for ourselves.
We have to be in the driver's seat.
Well said. And I think that's a great takeaway from today's deep dive. This isn't just about the latest gadgets or treatments. It's about recognizing the power we have as individuals to shape our own health journeys. So stay curious, stay informed, and as always, thanks for listening.